Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Sonam Sunita Atri, and you are watching Art with Freedom. And I am back again with my favorite topic of Let's Talk About videos, and that is Harry Potter book versus movies. I just love talking about this one. This is like my seriously the most favorite topic of all times. I just cannot stop myself from talking about it enough. I can go on and on and on and on, and I just keep babbling about things. I love talking about the characters, the incidences, and all the differences that it has with the books and the movies, and especially about all the characters. And when someone goes like and asks me about something, how did this happen, I just feel so happy, and I just I just love it so much. I am kind of like obsessed with it, and I think it's nobody's getting harmed from it, so it's all right, it's quite okay. And I just love it so much. I have a love for stories, that is a different thing, but for the my love for the whole Harry Potter thing, the whole wizarding world thing, is another level, and I just love it so much. Okay, so I have made two videos before this about the whole Harry Potter book versus movies, where I'm talking about the character differences. In this, I haven't really included much of the incidents themes things in that, but I have talked about most of the like character differences, that what are the differences of the characters from books and to movies. And I have covered most of the characters, but I left a few characters, my favorite characters, and I am definitely going to cover them up in this one. The three characters that I'm going to talk about in this one are Ginny Weasley, Ronald Weasley, and Harry Potter himself. Okay, so let's begin this one. First, I'm going to talk about Ginny Weasley herself. Okay, for according to me, the movies haven't given her a very justified story, I guess. Yes, that's I would say that her character hasn't been justified to its extreme potential. Okay, Ginny's character was so much more than it was showed in the movies. Ginny was this very confident girl. Okay, so when she was a kid, okay, every kid can be shy around a famous personality. Harry was this famous person. Every kid in the wizarding world knew about him. So did Jane. Okay, so what if she was shy and this silly little girl around him? No big deal. But when she starts her year at Hogwarts in the second year, when for Harry's second year and her first year, and so many terrible things happened to her. Okay, she had this diary, this magical diary where someone talks to her. She pours her heart out to a diary that replies back to her. Okay, so and then the whole attacks thing, and she doesn't even remember what she did, and all the terrible things that happened to her. Even after that much, she pulled herself back together. Okay, she didn't really went like, okay, I'm just freaking out again and again. No, she was really strong girl. Okay, she pulled herself together, and she was so good by next year. She was like totally okay. She was dealing with herself. So that implies that she is really strong and to have a control over her emotions. Apart from that, Ginny had the power that nobody had, especially around Harry. Okay, in fifth year when Harry was having these dreams because of Voldemort again and again, and he was angry. If you read the books, you will know that Harry was angry throughout the year, every single day, every single minute. He was so angry. He was lashing out at everyone. He was shouting at everyone all the time. But Ginny was the only one who used to call him out on this behavior, this ridiculous behavior. He even once shouted at her as well, and she literally called him out. And she literally told him that you do not take that tone with me. And Harry didn't reply. So that means that she holds the power that nobody else. She was confident, and she was fearless. She didn't really care what the other person is. She is just straight up to her head, which is, I think, the most wonderful thing about her, that she was so confident even after being through so much herself. So that was really one thing that was missing about her character in the movies. And the other thing that nags me very much, that in the movies you see that Harry and Ginny's relationship just miraculously in the 6th year, for Harry 6th year and her 5th year, they just miraculously grow attracted to each other, which doesn't happen like that. Okay, you just cannot grow a story like that. Like, okay, there is nothing now, but suddenly they are attracted to each other. So that is not how a story grows. Like, now there is nothing, for 1 second there is nothing, and then just another second they are just in love. That's not how it goes. The story takes its time to grow. Like the 5th book, when they all spend their time at the Grimmauld place, and then in the 6th book, when Harry get to spend a lot of time with Ginny at her residence. So that's how story grew between them, and there are incidences that happened in the book that didn't happen in the movie. So there's a lot of difference with that. But I just think that Ginny had so much more, and she was like really popular. She was really popular in her 5th year, and even in her 6th year, when Harry went off to the hunt for Horcruxes, she alone led the DA, the Dumbledore's army, and she contacted everyone, and she was this rebellious girl, and she was not scared. She was so fearless and so powerful at the time. And even after everyone tried to stop her from fighting in the battle, she eventually did fought in the battle, and she was there all the time with her friends, with her family, and everyone just fighting there. And her character was so much more, which was not explained. And I think for me, Ginny is literally one of my favorite characters, and I really love her, and I think she deserves a justice to her character. Because she was powerful, she was beautiful, she was courageous, and she was fearless. And I think she was amazing. And the movies really did her a little dirty. That's the thing about Ginny. And moving on to next character. Next character, Ronald Villiers Weasley. Okay, so Ron's character is so much, I would say, ruined by the movies, or I would say so much misunderstood, I would say, because people go like, oh, Ron was not a very good friend, and he was never there for Harry and things like that, and he was jealous and blah 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 things. I mean, like, take a chill, okay? Ron was literally the best thing that happened to Harry, okay? Like, the best thing. He literally sacrificed himself on a giant chessboard so that Harry could move and stop Snape from getting the stone, which they initially thought was Snape. And he didn't think it twice. He was really, really, really brave. It was like this thing with the whole confidence thing. He didn't really had much confidence. I mean, he had like 5 brothers, okay, 5 brothers to compete with. They already set a benchmark so high for him to cross that he was always underconfident, okay. And then he had like 2 friends who are like super smart, Harry the famous boy and Hermione the genius. So it was always the thing about the confidence. And he was again ready to die for Harry when they encountered with Black, when they thought that Black was the mass murderer and thing like that. But the thing is that Ron was literally so much more of a friend to Harry. Even when in 4th year, when Harry and Ron had a fight over the goblet of fire, his name came out of the goblet and this and that, Ron and Harry literally missed each other the most. Although Harry used to spend time with Hermione, but he always used to think that with Ron it's too much different, and with Ron everything is best. He used to miss Ron a lot, and Ron did the same. Okay, it was so difficult for both of them, and I think Ron was literally the best friend anyone could ever have. He invited Harry into his home. He shared his food, his family, his love, and everything with Harry. Because he understood him, okay, because he understand what it means and how it feels. And as far as Hermione and Ron's relationship is concerned, okay, so I think Ron was the one who used to pay the most attention to Hermione. You know, everything Hermione used to do, like her constant disappearance and appearance in third year, and then her normal size of teeth in fourth year, and all the little things, okay, everything she used to do, her little magic things, what she says, he used to pay the most attention to Hermione, okay. So I don't think, I mean, that's how things grew between two friends. Okay, they were friends initially. So yeah, it was very different kind of a story for them to turn. It took their story took its time to unfold itself, and I think that's totally fine and totally beautiful as well. And as far as Ron's insecurities are concerned, I think everyone have insecurities in them. Okay, so and it's totally okay for him to sometimes be angry about things, sometimes go out of his head and just feel it, and it's totally okay. Even when he was having this when he was on the Horcrux hunt with Harry, yes, he lashed out because the locket they were wearing. Okay, Harry also had that kind of breakdown when he was wearing the locket. So I think it's totally okay for him to have one. Yes, he left when he was angry, but he also came back. Yes, that was the thing that wasn't told in the movies. He did came back the same time, but he couldn't find the tent because Hermione put the invisible charm thing around the tent. It's okay to make mistakes, but whenever he used to make a mistake, he always used to realize it very early and always apologized for his mistakes. So I think that is something very beautiful about him. And I don't think it's anything of being immature if you have insecurities or jealousy or something like that. I think these are just normal feelings. And as far as being friends with both and Harry and Hermione, Ron was the one who always used to stand for both of them. He always used to take stand. Even in front of Malfoy, even in front of Snape, even in front of anyone. He always used to stand for Harry and for Hermione. Both of them. And I think that shows how much of a character he holds. How much of a courageous character he had. And loyal he was. And brave he was. His character was totally so much worth it than it was being showed in the movies. And I'm really upset about it. I think he was the greatest friend. He was so loyal and he was entirely brave and he was smart. Okay, Hermione used to get panic in most of the situations, but Ron always used to keep his calm and always used to make out the whole brainy things out of any situations. He always used to calm Hermione down and use his brain on the right time, on the right occasion. So I think Ron's character was a little bit ruined in the movies, and the books have actually justified the character both as Hermione's friend and his lover and Harry's friend, Harry's best friend as well. So that was about Ron's character. Now moving on to my favorite character, like the favorite character, Harry Potter himself. I love him so much. I think whenever you can ask anytime anyone what's your favorite Harry Potter character, and they will always go like, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. And I think for me the favorite character is Harry Potter. I mean, I do have other favorites as well, but nothing can ever top Harry. I just love him so much. So the one thing that I really hate about movies is that they have shown Harry like he's some kind of an idiot or some kind of a dumb person who literally can do anything without Hermione or without anyone's help, and he's just going on luck. But that is not the true. Okay, that is not true. Harry was actually very smart. Harry was very smart. Okay, I think Harry had so many issues. Okay, he never was loved. He never felt the love of parents and family, and he was never allowed to express himself. Okay, he was never allowed to ask questions. He was never allowed to like say anything at all, and that grew a kind of insecurity in him, and that's why he was never able to express his emotions in any situation, even if he was happy, sad, angry or anything. He just cannot express his emotions, and that is why so many troubles happened to him. So many wrong things had happened to him because he never was able to express himself. Besides, in the movies, they have shown so much less about him. Okay, he was actually very intelligent, and not just in defense against the dark arts. That was not the only area where he was, like smart and something. He was overall a smart guy. Okay, he was both 50 book smart and 50 street smart. So because in so many situations, like things happen, people don't really believe you because you can't prove it. But Harry was the one who always used to think for a different angle. Because just because you cannot prove something, that doesn't mean it's not there. That doesn't mean it's not true. Okay? Everything doesn't require a proof. Sometimes you just have to believe your instinct. And Harry always used to go with his instincts, and most of the times they have been proven right. Yeah, we can pick it out that his instinct about Sirius was not right, and then Sirius got killed and this and that. But that is a different situation. His emotions were too much heightened over that time. Okay, just because he was at the edge of losing the only family he had. So he had to do anything that he could. So even if he thought that was not the dream, it was reality, and he went to the ministry and got stuck there, and then everyone came and Sirius died because of him, that was not his fault. He was just trying to save his family. Okay, so that's not technically his fault. Anyone would have done the same thing. If it were up to them, anyone would have done the same thing, which is, I think, it's totally okay. But in so many other situations, whenever he used to feel that something is wrong, there was always something up to it. Okay, even especially the best example is to give the whole Horcrux hunt when they found out about the hollows. Okay, Hermione totally refused to believe that there are hollows, and Harry do believed. Ron was on 50-50 level that there are hollows and there are not hollows. But Harry had a reason to believe in hollows because he was possessing one, and he was sure of it that there are other out there. And he could have easily get all the 3 hollows to himself because he was already possessing 2. He just needed to get the other one, and he definitely figured it out that where the third one is. But he knew better against his own judgment that what is the right thing to do and what is the easy thing to do. He decided to stay with the Horcruxes instead of the hollows because he knew that somehow in his heart he had this instinct that getting the hollows is not the solution. It won't solve anything. He knew this, and that's why he chose to stick with the Horcruxes. Even when Ron told him that why wouldn't he go for the hollows, he knew that that's not the solution. Anyone can get the hollows and it could be a trick. He knew somewhere in his heart that it's not what they think it is. And that implies how much intelligent he was and how much capable he was of making the right decision, even when the situation is too much complicated and too much over the head. He stayed calm and chose the right thing to do. And that is something proves that how much of capable he was on his own. Okay, he definitely he went through all this with a lot of help, but that doesn't make a sense that he was dumb or he couldn't do it on his own. Okay, he was equally smart, equally intelligent, and equally capable. He was the one thing that I really liked about him, that when he chose to go to the forest knowing what's coming for him, okay, he chose the right thing to do. When he had the hollows, he literally had the 3 hollows with him. He knew he was the master of the Elderman when he was going into the forest, and he had little idea that maybe it wasn't going to work. But even after that, he chose to go to the forest. He dropped the stone. I mean, he could have kept it with him, okay, in the entire time. And like the thing that Harry wanted in the whole wide world more than anything is to have his parents back. He could have kept that stone. but he didn't, because he understood that was the right thing to do. No one is supposed to possess those hollows. Those hollows are not a gift, they are a curse. And he understood it at the age of 17, which is a really, really big thing, because most people, even the smartest people in the world, would do anything to possess those 3 hollows to themselves. Even Dumbledore, when he was so mature and so grown up, he tried to possess all 3 hollows under himself at one point, but he couldn't. But Harry, at the age of 17, understood things better than most of the people in the wizarding world. And I think that reflects how much a stable brain he had. And that is something, a major thing that is missing from the movies about Harry's character. But the books explore it so much, and that's why I love him so much. And the another reason for loving Harry is that he was so selfless. Like, Harry was like the most selfless character in the entire character series. Among all the characters in the whole series, in the whole Harry Potter series, I think Harry is the most selfless character. He would always sacrifice himself for, if it comes to anyone, not just someone he loves, but for anyone he thinks he can save, he would sacrifice himself without blinking, because that is whom he is. That is the kind of character he is. That is the kind of person he is. And he's always there for anyone. He always feels guilt on himself whenever something happens to someone. He is not the one to be blamed for, or he is not the one responsible for it. But he always takes a guilt on himself, because that's the kind of heart he has. And this is one of the major reasons that I love him so much, and I think he's one of the most best characters that I've ever come across, not just in this series, but every movie, every show, every book I have ever read. So I think Harry Potter is literally the best character, and he had not been justified in the movies as much as he deserves, because the books really explores his character to the depth. And that's why I always say to everyone, please do read the books. So yeah, that was it about the whole Harry Potter character stuff. I think I'm done with the whole character thing. But I would definitely be coming back with more topics and with more discussions about the whole Harry Potter series, because I just love talking about it and I just cannot stop talking about it. So I would definitely be coming with another topic. But until then, stay tuned to the channel. If you are still here and still watching this video, do give it a big thumbs up. Do share this video with all the Potterheads and everyone you know who loves Harry Potter, and do let them know about this one. Do give me a comment in the comment section and subscribe to the channel. And if you are still here, please do comment down that I am a piece of art, because you are definitely a piece of art. You are wonderful. You are amazing. Keep believing in yourself. Keep loving in yourself. Thank you so much. Bye bye.